What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out another Yarnhub video. This time, it's called The Last Great Tank Battle of the 20th Century. I'm pretty sure this has to do with one of the, oh, it's the first Gulf War. I'm seeing it right here. Okay, cool. This should be really cool. I'm really interested in tanks. I play War Thunder, so of course I am. But this should be pretty cool. Let's jump straight into it.
Eagle 15, put on War Op and make it loud.
It's the 23rd of February, 1991.
Shall we dance?
The 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment charges through the Iraqi border
some sexy
in
fucking
Operation
tanks.
Desert Storm. Amidst the stampede of armor, Captain Herbert Raymond McMaster stands proudly atop his M1A1 Abrams.
God, I've said it before, I'll say it again about these guys. Okay, yeah, there's all this. Oh, it doesn't fucking tell me. War Thunder. I want to know who does their animations, because I love their animations. Their renders are really well done.
Eagle Troop into battle.
Ooh,
After so much waiting, it's finally showtime. The column of American tanks drives into enemy territory with no resistance whatsoever. Defensive positions are being dealt with by other units, and the poor Iraqi conscripts surrender en masse.
Stop showing off.
The 2nd ACR even comes across a group of lone and unarmed Iraqis.
Honestly, this kind of makes me wonder. I wonder if they got the models from War Thunder themselves.
Walking aimlessly across
These
the
look
desert.
really good.
The men are surprised as the enemy cheers them on. They advance and maneuver nearly unimpeded for 2 full days. But that won't last forever. Somewhere out there to the east, the Tawakana Republican Guard lies in wait. A much more loyal unit that will not surrender so easily.
The Guard was...
The 2nd ACR are tasked with hunting them down. The men awake the following day to miserable weather. A sandstorm has rolled in overnight, greatly reducing visibility.
Holy shit! What beautiful weather. Skog, want to go outside? I'm good. Thanks.
God. I can just imagine the smell inside that tank. Because I know for a fact that these guys will be in there for, if you're on an operation like this especially, you're in there for like days, if not weeks on end, and no shower or anything. It reeks in there. You must just go nose blind.
How are the Eagles doing? Anyone?
Waiting for orders, sir. What's the plan?
Okay, here it is, gentlemen. In a moment, we will receive permission to carry the attack forward. We push to the 70 Easting.
Only 6 miles?
Yep, and don't engage. We find the enemy, we step aside, and allow the
lip syncing isn't great on this one.
1st Infantry Division and 3rd Armored Division behind us to take them on. Should be easy, but you know anything can happen. Stand by for orders. Out.
Should be easy.
Men don't have to be
should be easy isn't exactly the greatest of fucking things to hear.
told twice. The entire troop is itching for action. And sure enough, the go-ahead promptly arrives.
Battle stations, battle stations. This is Black 6. The word has been given. Red 1, execute.
Roger 6, executing now.
I feel the need for speed.
You know that's $5 in the drink box for any film quotes.
Oh, come on. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's 10.
The engines roar
That's
and
fucking
whirl to
funny.
life, and 6 M2 Bradleys from the 1st platoon drive past the line of Abrams, taking their positions at the front, as the entirety of the 2nd ACR moves through the sandstorm in a miles-long formation, pushing into the unknown. McMaster hunkers down, observing the battlefield with his thermal sight, but nothing.
That had to have been fucking sketchy and fucking just oof. Just thinking about having to be driving into what you're looking for these other tank battalion who you know will shoot at you, unlike these other dudes. And you're in the middle of a sandstorm, only being able to see through a small little window of your thermals. That's got to be fucking scary as shit.
Appears. Suddenly, there are loud explosions up ahead. McMaster and the rest of his men sweep the area with their binoculars and thermals. There are no contacts, but they quickly find the source. It's airburst artillery exploding in the air and raining shrapnel all across the ground. McMaster doesn't need to say anything. All on their own, the Bradleys and Abrams break the line to drive around the area of impact.
No, that'd be scary as shit.
Pride fills McMaster. His boys are acting exactly as they've been trained. The artillery is evaded, and the line reforms as they push on. It's not long before something else catches his eye. Figures emerge through the haze. Buildings. McMaster narrows his eyes, thinking, this village looks off. There's no farm, pen, or any type of infrastructure to sustain a home. This, he thinks, must be an Iraqi outpost.
Village, direct front. 1 round, heat, at my command.
The loader slams a high-explosive anti-tank.
Also, I could have. I thought HLC said it was a knee. It was a knee fucking thing, but I guess maybe on this one it wasn't. Or maybe there's multiple things. I don't know, but goddamn, this you got to be pretty fucking sure of yourself to think, yeah, load up a heat round when you're running up on a village.
Tank shell into the
You gotta
breach.
make sure
The
that you're not
anti-tank
fucking
component
wrong.
won't be of much use, but the explosives are exactly what they need.
Ready, report.
The tank's massive 120mm gun aims square at the structures. But McMaster doesn't fire just yet. He waits as his line gets closer, looking
You know,
for
you'd have to
civilians.
make sure that there's not civilians.
Up and down the line, the rest of the tanks prepare to level the position.
I mean, and you're in the middle of a sandstorm, so it's not like they'd be outside. You'd have to be insanely careful. I mean, admittedly, it wouldn't be too far off from where. Well, no, I don't know.
But still,
I was gonna say they're not too far off from where artillery was just hitting, but at the same time, you gotta think it doesn't exactly tell you how long they've been driving till they reach this point.
they wait, but they see no evidence that the buildings belong to anyone at all. Suddenly, muzzle flashes shine from the windows, and low-caliber bullets start raining down on the armored vehicles.
Oh, that's not gonna do shit.
McMaster's Abrams opens fire with a thunderous explosion. The round flies through the air, its aim impeccable. It hits a wall and detonates, reducing the building to rubble. The impact marks the target for the 8 other battle tanks, and their guns aim at the same construction.
Dude, if you only have small arms and you don't have anti-tank weapons, why the fuck would you fire? Stay down. You don't have the weapons to deal with it.
Fire!
The 9 Abrams fire almost in unison with a deafening blast. In an instant, the buildings explode into a cloud of rubble and dust, violently silencing the small arms fire. Meanwhile, on the very edge of their formation, Bradleys, Eagle 13 and 16 spot 2 Iraqi T-72 sitting in ambush with their thermal viewfinders.
Do we engage?
Chills travel down the spine of the vehicle
I
commanders.
mean, I would say yes.
Why
I
are they
mean,
still?
I don't think they see us.
Had the sandstorm not been covering their advance, they were unlikely to have won this showdown. But as it is, the enemy's lack of thermals keeps them blind in the storm.
oh, so these so these must be older T-72s if they're not engaged. If they don't have thermals.
Bradleys can see them, crystal clear.
Admittedly, they're probably export models.
The Bradley's turret spins to face the enemy.
And the T-72 isn't exactly known for its great thermal, especially at this point in time, or at least with these ones, I wouldn't think.
A pair of TOW anti-tank missiles at the ready.
And this is they would not be this close.
A missile fires off its launcher, pulling a spool of wire along with it. From
This is
inside, the gunner
is this a
keeps
1
his
or a
crosshairs
2B?
on the enemy tank, the computer guiding the missile through the wire and keeping it flying straight on the crosshair. From the sight, it looks like licks of flame hanging in the air for a few fleeting moments. The T-72 detonates with force as its turret flies sky high.
Turret pop.
The second Bradley fires off a second missile, aimed for the remaining enemy. The Iraqi crew barely reacted to the destruction of their companion. When they meet the same fate.
Rip.
The turret of this
T-72 don't have good fucking reverse speed. A lot of Russian vehicles don't. It's a shit fucking concept of it whenever you play as them in War Thunder. I have the terms. It is, if with the terms, it's either forward or nothing at all. You do not back up because you do not have any speed whatsoever. You are a sitting target if you try to back up in that bitch. And I know that's a pretty big quality in a lot of Russian tanks.
72 came off and was flipping like a bottle cap in the air, and when it landed, the whole thing burst into flames. I remember thinking, holy, how can a piece of metal burn like that?
The troop resumes
the ammo in the carousel probably detonated, which popped it. That's my bet.
advance, leaving behind T-72 wrecks and the obliterated buildings.
2 enemy tanks on the left flank. Targets eliminated.
McMaster knows these 2 tanks couldn't be alone, and senses that they're about to find exactly who they're looking for.
Red 1, this is Black 6. Swapping the tank lead. I repeat, changing to tank lead.
The Bradleys slow to a stop and allow the better armored Abrams tanks to go first. They form into an arrow formation, with McMaster proudly leading in the middle. They reach their target of the 70th Easting, but McMaster has a small crest up ahead, blocking their view.
Stay behind.
In flat terrain like this, even small crests are crucial for visibility, so without orders, he pushes on just a little more. His Abrams climbs the hill and rolls over the top of the crest. Looking through his thermal sight, he watches as dozens of heat signatures come into view all at once. They instantly meet a wall of dug-in.
Dude, you know he just about shit his... He had that fucking stomach bottoming out feeling, fucking wanna shit your pants feeling. He had to have. Cresting that hill and just seeing a shitload of fucking dug-in tanks in your thermals.
Armor, trenches, and anti-tank weapons, all facing their advance.
Tanks, direct front.
It's a horrifying sight. The plan of not engaging the enemy has gone straight out the window.
Fire, fire, Sabo!
Heat already loaded.
The crosshairs immediately land on a T-72 1.4 kilometers away, and the Abrams fires the first shot of Battle 73 Easting. But to McMaster's surprise, the giant line of Iraqi defense does not immediately retaliate. In the storm, the Iraqi tanks are completely blind and have no idea about the multiple Abrams actively rolling over their defensive embankment just a few hundred meters away. They scramble to respond, crews running for their tanks, diving into trenches.
Oh, I would love to see... I've seen, there's Mr. Hughes. He has a T-72. Seeing what it takes to get into him, you're not getting into a fucking T-72 very quickly. You're just
Fleeing
not.
to the rear, it's chaos.
Load Sabo! Up! Fire!
The armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding Sabo round fires off the Abrams barrel, the surrounding Sabo peeling off. Please support the channel, comment, like, and subscribe on this video.
You heard
Releasing
him.
a massive depleted uranium dart, traveling at 1,575 meters every second. It slams square on the enemy and it bursts into flames, cutting through the armor like butter and setting it aflame. McMaster continues to roll forward as the rest of his troop appears behind him. Abrams' tanks open fire indiscriminately as the T-72s start to fight back. Rounds crash into the earth and zip over the Americans' heads. McMaster's driver, Christopher Skog Hedenskog, watches nervously out of the periscope as he drives towards the enemy. He sees a muzzle flash from the front right, and a split second later, round slams into the earth right next to their fender. McMaster's men
God,
see
that'd be
the
scary
spot
as shit.
and fear he's been hit.
Black 6, are you hit? Black 6.
But then Skog spots a second T-72 emerging into the sights of their Abrams.
Hold on.
He turns hard to the left, throwing off everyone in the turret.
Ah!
They gather themselves and resume their positions.
Sir? Are you okay?
McMaster takes a second longer. He's hit his head on the edge of the cupola, completely missing the radio transmission calling for him.
Black 6, do you copy?
With their leader in silence and seemingly having taken a second enemy round, desperate Red 1 takes the initiative.
This is Red 1. Black 6 is down. I'm taking over. Follow my lead.
Listening to this on the radio, Skog calls for his commander.
Sir, get up on the net. Red One just took over.
McMaster realizes what's happening and is quick to clear up the confusion.
This is Black 6.
Yeah, no, they're very small. And yeah, I could see how he'd fucking hit his head. God, that would fucking hurt even with a helmet.
We're alive. I'm retaking command.
Meanwhile, outside is a flurry
Your
of
injury
sand,
was not
smoke,
service
and
related, by
fire.
the way.
Enemy rounds keep missing the Abrams as they charge through the desert. On the Iraqi side, everything is in pure chaos. The Abrams roar past the shell-shocked Iraqi.
Yeah, because this isn't you can kind of see in this. In reality, during the sandstorm, I would assume you wouldn't be able to see jack shit. Whatsoever. You wouldn't be able to see anything, I would assume. I would assume it's just full on just darkness, pretty much.
Firing round after round into the enemy armor. The Bradleys behind fire their cannons at trenches and infantry, struggling to distinguish between legitimate threats and defeated enemies. Driver Matt Lee follows his unit under fire when a person appears in front of him. Lee slams on the accelerator and steers towards him. The Bradley barrels towards a soldier at speed. The Iraqi is completely disoriented from the darkness of the storm.
This
and
motherfucker's really
smoke
about to
of the
run him
battlefield,
over.
Unaware as his body rapidly fills Lee's thermal imager.
God damn, that's fucking brutal.
The speeding Bradley roars by, inches from the enemy. Lee made a split-second decision and decided that this enemy was no threat. Elsewhere
Okay,
in the
I was
battle,
full on
the advancing line of
expecting him to get
Bradleys are
popped.
suddenly met with a column of tracers. The bright bullets ricochet everywhere, and two Bradleys focus on the source. A ZSU 23-4 Shilka anti-aircraft gun inside a
Shilka.
bunker. They slow to a halt, and the first anti-tank missile rockets off its launcher, zipping across the battlefield. The anti-armor warhead detonates
You wouldn't technically for a Shilka, the 30mm Bushmaster would be perfectly fucking fine, I would assume.
into the bunker, collapsing it. A second anti-tank missile flies in moments after,
But I guess they
slamming
just
into the
wanted to
ZSU
use them.
and setting it alight. Across
Maybe
the
they didn't
line,
want to
the
risk
Bradley
anything.
crews operate with incredible bravery. The missiles cannot be fired on the move, so Bradleys have to stop under fire to engage enemy armor. Eagle 31 comes to a halt while staring down the barrel of a reloading T-72.
It's not great because they reload fairly
The
quickly.
American
You gotta
gunner
fucking fire
fires
that
off his
bitch
missile
quick.
and strikes the Iraqi tank, exploding it into a
Oh,
ball
that's a
of flame.
cool. That was a cool visual. I kind of want to watch that again. That was a cool
Off his
visual.
missile and strikes the Iraqi tank, exploding it into a ball of flame.
That's a really
Fractions
cool
of a
visual.
second
I like
before
that.
it can do the same to the Bradley's crew. Meanwhile, another Bradley, Eagle 36, have used up their pair of anti-tank missiles and are still stuck in the middle of heavy fighting. They need more if they're to have a chance against the dozens of T-72s still somewhere out there in the dark.
Tribble, give me some toes.
Scout
On it.
Michael Tribble takes a missile tube stowed in the rear and opens up the roof
Oh,
hatch
that's
to
a
reload
fucking
them.
scary fucking job to
The
have.
launcher is out of reach.
Can you get me the turret on 5950?
The turret needed to be rotated to 5950 mils to be able to reload from the hatch. But Tribble hears the response.
Negative. We're stuck like this.
The commander can't place the Bradley in a reloading position. They need the gun and armor facing the enemy. If Tribble's going to reload, he's going to have to go outside and do it.
Man, fuck you. Do you want this fucking shit reloaded or not? Back up or do something else.
Tribble rushes out from safety. He can hear the hiss of rifle bullets zipping across the air, a few striking the Bradley's armor with loud clangs. But Tribble ignores it all. He discards the old tubes and casings and begins mounting the new ones.
Dude, that's a fucked
He
up
hears the
job. That's
crack
fucking
of bullets
scary.
narrowly missing him, but he keeps his nerve at a time where a slip-up is a difference between life and death. The missiles are reloaded, and
Yo, War Thunder, when can I get this kind of animation? I want this kind of fucking animation for my game. I want to see some dude hop out of my fucking Bradley to reload my
returns
tubes
to the
when I'm in the
machine,
middle of a
shouting,
fight.
Done! Go! Go!
With that, the roof hatch closes up, once more protecting Tribble from the chaos outside. The Bradley, again, lurches to life, charging
That
for
sounds
combat.
fucking scary.
Back at the front, the battlefield gradually calms down. Bradleys still fire their cannons amidst a flurry of small arms fire, clearing out trenches and destroying equipment as the platoon drives through the wrecks of the enemy. McMaster's executive officer comes on the radio, reminding him that 70 easting was the limit of advance, and they are way past it.
I can't stop. We're still in contact. Tell headquarters I'm sorry.
He cuts the transmission and returns to the task at hand.
You know, dude, I'm
They've
kind of
broken
in the
through
middle
their
of something.
lines, but
Don't
there
fucking
has to be
bother me.
reserves somewhere in this storm. It doesn't
Just
take
cool.
long for them to find them.
I see them!
He spots a group of enemy tanks with his thermal sights. 17 of them, all in a circle. They've attacked so fast, the reserves haven't even had time to get out of their parking spots. McMaster orders all of the troops Abrams to bear.
Ready! Report!
They creep up on the enemy. He can clearly see an Iraqi tank commander standing on his hatch. The commander hears the Abrams and looks over his shoulder with an expression of utter horror on his face.
Fire!
Nope, you're fucked. You're fucked,
In a
homeboy.
flash, the strength of Eagle Troop is unleashed at the stationary targets. In just a minute, all 17 of the T-72 tanks are reduced to scrap.
Target destroyed!
The Bradleys in the rear continue to destroy enemy equipment and ammunition stashes, but the battle was effectively over. Anxiously, McMaster got on the radio to ask one question he feared the answer to.
How many casualties?
No casualties to report.
No casualties to report. No casualties to report.
They hadn't just won, they had crushed them. In just 23 minutes, this scouting force that wasn't
That fucking sandstorm saved a lot of American lives. Because if there was no sandstorm, I'm sure we would have lost a few.
even meant to engage the enemy had destroyed 50 T-72s, 25 armored personnel carriers, 40 trucks, and a multitude of other vehicles of the Tawakalna Republican Guard, without losing a single man or vehicle. McMaster would be
Don't
awarded
fucking wink
the
at me,
Silver
bro.
Star for his actions. He's still alive today, and we hope he watches and likes our video.
That was cool.
Get into the battle now for free by clicking the link in the description. You'll receive a large bonus pack including multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, and much more. Play War Thunder today.
That was cool. That was a good video. I enjoyed that. Well, that was Yarnhub. Last great tank battle of the 20th century. Make sure you go and give them their love. They fucking deserve it, as always. Like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing me. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.